If you're about to pull the trigger on the Yamaha DTX6K-X electronic drum kit on Amazon, you're in exactly the right place. I'm about to show you the brutal truth that the marketing photos will never, ever tell you. But here's what surprised me. For a kit with the Yamaha name, there are three massive things they don't advertise clearly. Therefore, your choice might not be as simple as you think. For the best price while we talk, click the link in the description. And so, let's be completely honest. You're looking at this kit because you trust Yamaha. The DTX6K-X looks professional, it promises a real studio-quality sound library, and it seems like the perfect balance between price and performance. It's the logical upgrade from cheaper beginner pads. But the very first thing you need to understand is that this isn't just one product. It's actually two different kits depending on which brain you get, and that decision changes everything. Therefore, you could be setting up an absolute dream kit, or you could be building a glorified practice pad with buyer's remorse. I'm going to tear this whole thing apart so you know exactly what you're getting into. Stick around because the final verdict might flip your entire plan. And let's start with the absolute cornerstone, the drum module or the brain. This is the computer that makes all the sounds. Yamaha offers the DTX6K-X with two different module options, the DTX Pro or the more basic DTX502. This isn't a minor spec difference, it's a fundamental identity crisis. The DTX Pro module is the star of the show. It's the one you see in the fancy promotional videos. It has over 800 killer preset sounds, deep editing capabilities, Bluetooth audio for playing along to songs, and a beautiful color screen that makes navigation a breeze. It feels like a professional instrument. The DTX 502 module, however, is a massive step down. Think of it as the budget-conscious, slightly awkward cousin. It has less than half the sounds, a tiny monochrome display that looks like it's from a 90s calculator, and it lacks all the modern connectivity and deep editing. It is a functional brain, but it's not an inspiring one. Therefore, the very first question you must answer before clicking buy is, which module is in the box? Because if you're paying for the X in the name expecting the premium experience and you get the 502, you will be disappointed. And alright, let's get our hands on the pads themselves. The selling point here is the new textured silicone heads on the snare and toms. They're designed to feel more like real drum skins and reduce stick bounce. And you know what? They are genuinely good. The feel is less plasticky and more responsive than many rubber pads in this price range. There's a nice give to them. But here's the twist that changes your playing, the dynamic range. Yamaha's sensors are excellent, so from a featherlight tap to a full-on slam, the module responds accurately. Therefore, you can actually practice nuance and dynamics, which is crucial if you want to sound like a real drummer and not a robot with sticks. That's a huge point in its favor. However, the kick drum pad is a different story. It's a single, compact unit. It works fine, it's quiet, but for players used to a real kick drum feel or a larger tower pad, it can feel a bit insubstantial, like you're kicking a politely resistant pillow. It gets the job done, but it won't satisfy your inner John Bonham. And now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or more accurately, the rack in your room, the hardware. The DTX6K-X comes with a sturdy, professional-looking chrome rack. It looks the part. But the assembly and footprint might surprise you. It's not a tiny kit. When you get all the arms and clamps set up, it demands a decent chunk of floor space. Think about your bedroom or home studio layout. Therefore, if you were imagining a compact little setup you could tuck in a corner, you need to mentally prepare for a more commanding presence. It's a solid rack, though, minimal wobble once everything is tightened down properly. Just be ready for the some assembly required ritual, which is about as intuitive as building flat-pack furniture while someone reads you the instructions in a different language. You'll get there, but you might invent a few new words along the way. Okay, time for the main event, the sound. This is where Yamaha historically shines, and with the DTX Pro module they deliver. The preset kits are phenomenal. We're talking pristine studio recordings of real Yamaha acoustic kits, detailed brush kits, tight electronic sounds, and even some fantastic percussion. The sounds are deeply multi-sampled, meaning you get different tones depending on where you hit the pad. Hit the snare rim, you get a cross stick. Hit the edge of the crash cymbal, you get a different bell-like sound. It feels alive. But, and this is critical for metalheads and hard hitters, the cymbal pads themselves are the kit's potential bottleneck. They are two-zone pads, bow and edge, but they are rubber. They don't have the swing and response of a more advanced mesh cymbal like on higher-end kits. Therefore, if your playing relies on intricate cymbal work, rides, and chokes, these pads will feel limiting. They work, they sound great, but the physical feedback isn't quite the same. It's like having a world-class chef prepare a meal, but you have to eat it with slightly bendy plastic cutlery. The food is amazing, the experience is just a little off. \N, let's dive into the features that actually matter for daily use. The coaching functions. If you're a beginner, this is pure gold. The module has built-in metronomes, play-along songs, and exercises that listen to your timing and grade you. It's a patient, never-tiring teacher. But for the more advanced player, the recording and connectivity options are what you'll love. With the DTX Pro, you can plug in a USB cable and use the kit as a full MIDI controller for recording into software like Logic or Ableton. You can also stream audio from your phone via Bluetooth to play along with Spotify or YouTube lessons. Therefore, this kit bridges the gap between a simple practice tool and a legit home studio instrument. However, a quick reality check: that Bluetooth is for audio input only. You cannot wirelessly send the drum audio to a Bluetooth speaker. You still need cables for output. A small detail, but one that trips people up. \N now, the setup and the feel. I've mentioned the textured heads, but the overall playability is top tier for this price range. The snare pad is especially good, mounted on a fully positional snare stand just like an acoustic drum. You can adjust the angle and height exactly to your preference. This is a massive upgrade over pads fixed to a rack arm. It feels real. But the hi-hat control is where things get interesting and a little complex. The kit comes with a dedicated hi-hat controller pedal. It's not just an on-off switch. It attempts to replicate the open-closed splash feel of a real hi-hat, and it does a decent job. However, dialing in the perfect sensitivity so it doesn't trigger a splash when you just want a tight chick sound takes some tweaking in the module settings. Therefore, you get a pro-level feature, but you have to put in a few minutes of setup to make it sing. It's not just plug-and-play perfection. \N, let's tackle the big question. Who is this kit actually perfect for? If you are a beginner or intermediate player looking for the most realistic and inspiring electronic kit under a certain budget, and you get it with the DTX Pro module, this is a home run. The sounds will make you want to play for hours. But if you are an advanced player or a gigging musician looking for a compact, ultra-responsive kit to replace an acoustic set for silent practice, you might find the cymbal pads and the kick pad a bit too simplified. Therefore, its sweet spot is the dedicated home player who values sound quality and a great feel above all else, and who has the space for it. It's not a casual toy. It's a serious instrument for serious practice. \N, before we wrap up, we have to talk about the Amazon factor. Buying something this big and complex online has pros and cons. The pro is you can often find a better price, which is why the link is in the description. The con is you're not able to test it first. But here's a crucial tip. Read the product title and description on Amazon like a hawk. Make absolutely sure it specifies which module is included. Some listings can be ambiguous. Therefore, if it just says DTX6K-X without specifying with DTX Pro module, ask the seller directly. Don't assume. Protect your investment. Also, check the return policy. The last thing you want is to be stuck with a massive box and a kit that isn't right for you. It's easier to return a bad pair of shoes than a 50-pound electronic drum set, trust me. I imagine the delivery driver's face when you try to hand it back. You want me to take all of this? \N, so, final resolution time. Should you buy the Yamaha DTX6K-X? The answer is a conditional yes. If you get the version with the DTX Pro module and your expectations are aligned. Fantastic sounds, great snare and tom feel, solid training tools, but with simpler rubber cymbals and a compact kick pad. Then you will be thrilled. It represents outstanding value for the quality of the sound engine and the overall playing experience. However, if you end up with the DTX 502 module version, you are, in my opinion, paying for a shell of the premium experience. The pads are the same, but the brain holding it back is a significant downgrade. Therefore, your mission is clear. Hunt for the DTX Pro version. That is the kit Yamaha intended this to be. That's the kit that will make you a better drummer, make practicing a joy, and not leave you wondering what you're missing. For the absolute best price on the correct Yamaha DTX6K-X with the DTX Pro module on Amazon, do yourself a favor and click the link in the description below. I've done the searching to make sure you get the right one. Thanks for watching, and now go make some noise.